Hey, what's happening? Good one, SirJames coming at you guys with another video. In today's video, I'm here to give you guys another video game haul. So before I get started, I do want to say thank you guys so much because my channel has reached 27,000 subscribers. I truly appreciate it. We're one step closer from reaching my dream goal, which is 100,000 subscribers. So eventually we'll get there. But my main goal this year is to try to reach at least 30K. Now, as a thank you to you guys, I'm actually going to be starting a giveaway soon within the next month or two. So I know E3 is just around the corner, and probably by the time I do my giveaway, there may be a big game that's coming out that I could possibly give out to you guys. So again, right now it's just kind of in the early stages as to what I'm probably going to be putting together, but definitely be on the lookout for a giveaway in the next month or two on this channel, and a video will be out with all the initial details when that time comes. So again, once again, thank you guys so much, truly appreciate it. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any PS4 games in this particular haul this time around because I'm waiting for pretty much my most anticipated PlayStation VR title known as Farpoint. That actually comes out this Tuesday, which I'm super excited for. I'm pretty sure my local GameStop is going to have a midnight release because, or in this case, a 9 o'clock release that they're doing now, because I think Injustice 2 also comes out on that same day. So definitely be on the lookout because I'm actually getting the game and gun combo, so I have an unboxing here on the channel, even compare the new gun with the old PlayStation sharpshooter, of course a full playthrough and a review on that. So definitely stay tuned for that, and hopefully that game turns out well because I'm super excited for it, and just it better be good. So anyways, first game in the haul is a PlayStation 1 game known as Tekken 3. We actually have Tekken 7, which is the newest one coming out, which actually comes out in about less than a couple weeks now. But definitely can't wait. Now, I'm not really big into fighting games. You may notice that I don't do particular games often, like sports games, racing games, even fighting games. But I do love the Tekken franchise when it comes to the fighting games and the Soul Calibur games. I'm not too much into Street Fighter. As far as racing games, I'm not big into racing games unless the racing games have guns on the cars, or things like Twisted Metal are also fun. And as far as sports games go, I'm not really too much into sports games. However, I have played, FIFA Street back in the day on PlayStation 2. That was a fun title. And I think I've also played, what was the other one? NBA Street was another one. But yeah, I actually walked into a GameStop, saw this on the shelf, and bought it. This was like less than $5. And it was pretty awesome to see just an old game on the store shelves where you could buy, because GameStop does sell retro games. However, it's usually through their online store, and pretty much you don't know the condition of the item. You don't know if it's going to have the original case, the condition of the disc, and the fact that there actually were some locations, I don't know if they're all going to do it, but the fact that some locations are actually carrying a handful of retro games on their store shelves for you to kind of buy in the store, I thought it was a pretty cool idea, and I hope they could expand on that and maybe hopefully add the consoles there too, because I'm currently on the lookout for a Sega Saturn. eBay prices are kind of going up and down on that one, and I think GameStop offers the cheapest alternative. I'm also looking for a Sega Genesis. I believe it's the Model 2 one, the smaller edition, because that was the first console I ever had when I was growing up. But hopefully we'll see what happens with that. But anyways, next up is a stack of PlayStation Vita games. The first one here, which I was actually kind of surprised to see on the shelf because I never see this game anymore, and this is the Hatsune Miku Project Diva X. Now, I have reviewed this game back on the PlayStation 4. Not too bad of a game. I felt like the song selection was a bit short compared to some of the other titles, but this was a brand new copy, which also came with this little carrying sleeve here for your Vita system, so that's always a nice little extra there. So the only one that I do not have from the Hatsune Miku games on the Vita would be the Hatsune Miku Project Diva F. No, I have F second, but if I recall the first one, Project Diva F, that was never released in North America, only Japan, so I'm going to have to import a copy for that, then I'll have the complete Vita selection. Next one is an item that was on my to find list on the Vita. This was another hard to get. Actually, it was super easy to get if I just ordered it through eBay because eBay prices wasn't too bad. But this is the World of Final Fantasy. Now, I have played this on the PlayStation 4. It's a really fun game, and I wanted to get it on the Vita as well to kind of have a copy on the go, because you could also transfer your save data. Now, what's interesting about this too, by the way, if you do end up getting a Vita copy, is that the voiceovers are not actually on the cartridge. You actually have to download a separate file in order to have the voice acting. And of course, for the Japanese voices, you could only get it with the Day 1 edition. And in this case, this one was pre-owned, but the code inside was not used, so I got lucky on that one. And it's pretty amazing how many people never use their codes that come with games. Like, I bought, what was it? I think it was last year or something like that. I can't remember, but I bought like a pre-owned Battlefield 3 for $5, and it was in a case with the premium edition, but the premium code on there was not used, so I had basically full access to all the DLC at the time. So again, just if you ever buy used games and you see code in there and you think it's always going to be used, always check them, because you never know. The same thing happened for the Metal Gear Solid Legacy collection, where no one used the code there, and I got Metal Gear Solid 1 on the PS1, and it was also like the VR mission or something. So again, you just never know. The other one, which I was trying to find this one with the case, even though I already have it digitally, but it's super inexpensive now. You could find it for less than $10, and that is Freedom Wars. Again, a really fun game. It's actually one of my popular Vita reviews on the channel that I reviewed back in, it was in 2014 that I reviewed the game. Really fun game. The online multiplayer is actually pretty active. There's a 4-player cooperative play or 8 players competitively. So if you own a Vita and you're looking for games with online support still, like Killzone Mercenary, this will be another nice option if you enjoy RPG-based games. Another one here, which back in the day, this was a very common game to find, but nowadays I just never see it on the store shelves anymore. Because again, for me, the only option that I have to buy Vita games is either through eBay or Craigslist, or the other option from there, of course, would be through GameStop, because places like Target, Toys R Us, Walmart, you name it, no longer carry any Vita products anymore. And that game is Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. This is another fun game to check out. I remember this first being a Vita exclusive, then they ported it over to the consoles. I think it was the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 copies, or maybe it was the PS4. I can't remember because I haven't played the console version. I've only played the handheld version. But another fun game to get. I actually kind of need a newer case because this one has a bunch of gunk on here. I'm not sure if I'm able to clean that. I might be able to, but again, it was kind of nice to find that finally. And last but not least, unfortunately, this did not have the original case, but if one ever shows up, I could always trade in this crappy case for an original case. And that game is Soul Sacrifice. eBay prices are going anywhere between $25 to $35 with the original case, but again, if one shows up, I could always trade in this case and get a legit case. So again, less than $10, I'm not complaining. At least I have the game because I never see this one as well. So next up, going over the Xbox One, is just one game, and that game is Halo: The Master Chief Collection. If you've never owned an Xbox before and you're trying to figure out what games you should get for your first time, I highly recommend you look for this one right here. Again, this is just a must-have for anyone who owns an Xbox game. And this is coming from someone who mostly plays on PlayStation, even though that's my preferred platform. But when it comes to Xbox, Halo is one of my favorite franchises, though Halo 5 was a bit iffy. Actually, when I was there's a crap ton of Halo 5 pre-owns and just a couple of these. So again, this is the main one to get. And of course, especially if you get an extra controller, you could do some couch co-op. And of course, the online multiplayer is very well active. So again, this is just worth checking out. Up next, I figured, since I don't have too many games in this haul, I figured I could also add a movie haul. There's not a lot of times where I actually go out and buy movies. The only time I really do that is if there happens to be a sale or during Black Friday. In this case, I got these on sale, which were normally $20 a piece, but I paid $10 each. Now, one of my favorite movies of all time is The Lord of the Rings. I have the whole Blu-ray extended edition box set, and it's a film that I could sit there and watch over and over and over, never get tired of it. And, the same thing goes for the Hobbit series. I've also enjoyed the books as well. And so I've never had the whole Hobbit collection, the extended edition Blu-ray. I've only had the first one, which was a DVD copy that I got on a Black Friday for like $5, and that was before the other movies were out. So I finally have the whole Hobbit collection. So in this case, the first one is right here. This one is, of course, The Hobbit: The Unexpected Journey, the extended edition. We also have, of course, the Desolation of Smaug. This is the one I'm currently watching right now. I'm sorry if it's not focusing pretty quick, because again, I'm using this kit lens, which has a slow autofocus ring, unless if I do it manual. And of course, the other one, of course, is the Battle of the Five Armies. What's nice about watching the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit, you know, the extended editions, is that there's a lot of extra stuff in there that's worth having in there. Like, it's like, why did they cut that? Especially some important scenes for the Lord of the Rings film with Saruman and stuff like that, which I'm not going to go into too many details just in case if you haven't seen those films, which honestly you should see them because it's just awesome to check out. But anyways, there is that. The next one is well, going over the HTC Vive. You guys know I have a Vive, but I'll go over that in just a second. I just want to kind of answer a question that a lot of people were asking me is how am I dealing with the cable situation for the HTC Vive? Because since I have the full room scale VR set up, you know, obviously I'm going to be moving around. Sometimes I'm off-centered. You guys notice when I'm doing some of the VR coverages, I kind of take off the visor, see where I am courtesy of the camera, because it's hard for me to record that because I'm often moving around or I'm not centered anymore because, again, I'm just immersed into the experience. It kind of, you know, I have to kind of leave my virtual zone to ensure that I'm on camera for you guys when I'm using the green screen. Other than that, if I'm not using the green screen, then I wouldn't have that issue in the first place. But anyways, first I did have the cable running on the ground because I wear shorts a lot. It's actually my preferred clothing choice. I don't like wearing pants because it just feels uncomfortable. But, you know, often I'll feel like what side the cable's in and stuff like that, and sometimes it might be in the way or not in the way, and I'll just kind of move it. But, you know, sometimes you're breaking the immersion if you're kind of stopping what you're doing just to move a cable out of the way. So the method I'm currently using is this box I got. You actually get like 13 of these. I actually have a bunch of them on my ceiling right now. But you actually get these two different pieces here. You get this little piece here that actually you peel back and you stick onto your ceiling. Now keep in mind, if you have a drop down ceiling with ceiling tiles, do not stick this on your ceiling tile because you will tear it apart. Instead, stick it on the I don't know what you call it, the little beam that goes across where you set the ceiling tiles on is what I currently have mine to. I kind of cut mine into shape. But basically you stick this on there, then you have this little piece here, you put the ring onto here, and then of course your cable will go through here. It's a clip, so you can just easily put the cable in and of course remove it when you need to. Some people usually have a hook onto their ceiling where instead of like unplugging everything or taking the cables down, they just leave the headset onto the hook. But yeah, what's nice about this one is that it gives you that extra slack. It keeps the cable, that's something that I'll explain there in just a second. But you have all that extra slack, and of course you could still kneel down, do what it is that you need to do. Keep in mind that if you have a high ceiling and you're playing a game like Onward and you want to lay down and snipe, do keep in mind that you're going to have kind of a limitation there. So just, again, keep that in mind. But for the most part, all the basic movements, even kneeling down, it's going to work out great, and you're not going to trip over your cable at all. And best of all, you don't have to worry about, you know, the cable wrapping around your neck because you have a cable too loose or anything like that. But again, awesome method. The only thing I don't like about this is that, let's say you're taking the cable off and you pull this down and then you let go. Next thing you know, it flies off the hook. I mean, you could easily put it back on. It would just been nice if, like, instead of a hook, it was more of a ring and then two clips. But this is a pretty cool product. I'll put a link in the description down below if you are interested in buying this. It was about, was it $15 or $20? I think it was about 20 bucks. But again, you get like 13 or 14 of them in the box. Definitely worth it in my opinion. Now, I know there is a wireless solution coming out for the HTC Vive, which is an okay thing, but the thing is, I'm not currently too pleased about the wireless solution. I mean, pretty cool idea, but the amount of battery life that you have for that is, I think, about an hour and a half to 2 hours, which is not enough game time for me. I'd rather just have a wire and kind of deal with this solution than a wireless one, at least until the wireless solution becomes more improved and maybe have a better battery life, and maybe kind of go from there. But again, there is that. Anyways, the other one, which some of you are already familiar with, is I now have an HTC Vive on top of the PlayStation VR that I also earn. Or in this case, not earn, but which I already have. Now, one of the items that I bought was this red piece here. This is called a Hyperskin for, of course, the Vive headset. What's nice about it is that kind of, you know, you put this on there, kind of makes it look, you know, makes it stand out. They actually come in a variety of different colors. You know, my little brother was like, why don't you get green? I was like, well, if I get green, I use the green screen. Basically, I'm not going to have a face on me, and it's going to look weird during the editing process. So I got red to kind of make it stand out a little bit more. You could also get a hyper skin for your controllers if you wanted to, but I figured it was kind of a nice touch. And so far, I'm pretty happy with it. Again, no complaints. Do keep in mind that if you actually sweat a lot, the sweat will actually kind of get trapped down here in the flaps and, you know, may potentially cause damage. So just keep an eye on that. If you have, again, if you're in a situation where you do sweat a lot and you are noticing that, then maybe it might not be the best idea to have one of these. For me, I'm always monitoring to kind of make sure I'm not sweating a lot, so therefore I'm currently keeping mine on, at least until summertime, where I'll probably remove it during then. The other thing I want to go ahead and talk about is what games do I currently have on the HTC Vive. I actually took a picture because I can't remember all that information. My memory, honestly, is terrible. So, again, you probably know that already. So, the games that I currently have is Onward. I also have Audio Shield, Batman Arkham VR, which I did cover on the PlayStation VR. We also have Battlezone, which is another game I did on PlayStation VR, but I wanted to get it on the PC because it was a lot cheaper. The PC version, or to celebrate its sale, was actually going for about $33. The PlayStation VR version is $60, and if it's not on sale, it's going to be about $40 by default. So of course, just had to pick it up, and it's actually very good. Actually, I prefer the PC version over the PlayStation one based on the changes that they made, and of course, since it's a little bit more superior. Of course, we also have ClimbD, The Elven Assassin, Ghost Town, Mine Ride, and Shooting Gallery. It's a horror game. I haven't played it yet, so I figured that would be a good video for us to do. Then we have the Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades, Mighty Monster Mayhem. We have, I think it's called Palv. I don't know how this is pronounced. It's spelled Pavlov, and then, of course, VR. But it's basically Counter-Strike VR is what I keep calling it. And then we have Quiver, Raw Data, Rec Room, which is a free social game. And then we have the Space Pirate Trainer, Thumper, Tilt Brush, Trials of Tatooine, which is another free download, and then we have Vanquish Realms, which is a series that I want to put together because it's a dungeon crawler type game. But those are the games that I currently own, and just more that I'm looking forward to adding in the near future. Super Hot is also supposed to come to the HTC Vive, and of course I also have that one other game. What was it? The Robo Recall, which is an Oculus Rift exclusive, but I'm able to play it on the Vive using a program called Revive, which is always useful to have. And of course, two more things. I also found this Goku statue over at my local GameStop. So there you guys go. This was about $30. At first, I wasn't too sure about it because it came in a small box. I wasn't sure how big it was going to be or if it's going to look as good. So I kind of bit the bullet, spent the $30, and you had to put it together. Honestly, this looks fantastic. So I'm hoping they get more because I would like to collect more of these. But I think that was a pretty nice Goku statue there. And this is the very last item for this video. You guys may recall I did a video review for a product by VR Covers. It was a product for the PlayStation VR, and of course they also sent me a shirt as well. But they actually sent me products for the HTC Vive. They were actually one of the two companies that got into contact with me the day I got the Vive. And basically these are extra masks or headrests or whatever you want to call them. Let's see, I thought I had... Oh, here we go. Have them over here. So we have a few different ones. The first one here, this one is just called the Vive cover, which is basically just goes over the current the foam padding in there. Let's see this next one. Let's see, where is it? This weird looking one here. This one is the Vive memory foam. This is the 14 millimeter right here. Let's see. The next one here, I think I dropped the bag. So I'm kind of disorganized right at the end of the video. This next one here, this one is the Vive memory foam replacement soft cotton mix, 18 millimeters. So this one's like a super thick one. But my personal favorite that I've been using is this little thin one here, which gives you much more of a better field of view when you're using the Vive. And this one is the Vive foam replacement waterproof 6mm. So again, this is the nice thin one, and make sure that you're basically up close and personal with your Vive headset. Gives you a much better field of view. But I will be doing a product review on all these in one video, hopefully here soon. I'm still testing out all the other ones, just to, kind of need that extra time. But anyways, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. Like I said, Farpoint tomorrow or Tuesday, one of the 2 days, depending on if they're gonna have 9 p.m. release or not. But again, if you guys have any questions, let me know down below. And again, thank you so much for the 27,000 subscribers. Hopefully we could hit the 30K and then eventually 100K. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. But like I said, a giveaway will be coming in the next month or two. So until then, I'll see you guys next time.